July 1st, 2024. Happy Canada Day. I dried some grass for mulch for my grow bags. For the peppers, these are cayenne peppers, Boothby cucumbers. Not sure if I'll grow these again next year. They are not bad tasting, but a very thick skin, almost an apple-like texture. Flavor's fine. Time to start harvesting the jalapenos. They're very slowly starting to get red. But it's going to be a while before I have enough to make some hot sauce, so I'm freezing them in the meantime. July 3rd, 2024. Raspberry season is almost over. Got some black raspberries still going. They're looking pretty good. Milder than a regular red raspberry, but tasty nonetheless. And they look really nice as they're ripening. Still plenty of red raspberries to go. More ripening on the way.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits.
Mr. P here has determined that there are rabbits residing underneath the greenhouse. Here are the black pearl peppers. Still haven't started to ripen yet, but there's quite a few of them. I got a lot of wood chips delivered on July 6th. 10 yards. On to July 7th and everything in the yard's growing pretty well. A lot of green everywhere. Sweet peas have started to finish up their flowering, but still some very pretty flowers left on it. I was pretty happy with this plant. Definitely do it again next year. Leek plants. They're lovely the second year. Still putting down the wood chips. I got through about a third of the load already in only a few days. Primarily for some weed suppression back here behind the cedars along the fence line. Give a nice run for Doggo to run through. Raspberry harvests. This is not a pink brandy wine. It was sold to me as a pink brandy wine. Paul Robeson's almost ripe at this point. Beets. Time to harvest the beets. I still don't know if I like beets. We'll get there. We'll figure it out eventually, find the right recipe. Lots of beets harvested this year compared to last year. At least for myself, I got more beets, and they were bigger than last year, so I'm pretty happy with my harvest. I did try to roast a few beets and added some tahini sauce on top of them, and they actually were edible. Did I love it? But at least it's progress. Maybe I'll try to make some borscht in the future if I have enough beets next year, if I grow them again. But for now, we'll let the worms play in the soil until I plant more beets. All in all, I'm not dissatisfied with this harvest. I gave about half the beets to a friend of mine. She likes beets more than I do. One of the things that always surprises me in my yard is the amount of creatures. Maybe they've always been there, maybe a lot of them have come in because of the things I've started growing, but it's fascinating to see what we have. Boothby cucumber. This one was harvested several days ago. They stayed pretty firm for several weeks, several days.
Actually get cooked, we'll just get
making some Hascap jam.
which is totally
Didn't harvest a huge amount of Hascaps, but it was my first year of harvest, and it was 100% more than the harvest I got last year. This jam turned out to be a little thicker than I would have wanted to. I think I cooked it down a bit too much,
as we move on.
but it was still very
Absolutely
tasty.
beautiful. And check that's pretty large. Come in here, we'll see if we got some good carrots and how that top shows off.
More raspberry harvests. Almost a pound in one day. That's pretty crazy. That's like the entire harvest I got last year. Speaking of harvest boysenberries, I got to try one this year. The rest of them got eaten. I'll protect them better next time. Paul Robeson. Possibly my favorite tomato so far. You know what you can do with these things? I think the best option, other than maybe a nice tomato sauce, especially for slicing tomatoes, it's pretty simple. So good. Every day, tomato sandwich. Almost. Heading into mid-July. Things are still growing. Harvested a bunch of things by now. Mr. P is still protecting the yard. This is not a wasp or a bee. Nasturtiums. I believe these are called Bloody Mary nasturtiums. I didn't have much luck with nasturtiums this year. This is the only plant that actually sprouted, despite planting about a dozen seeds. Sometimes that's how it goes. Overdue to harvest my onions. Final flowering poppies of the season. These guys don't last very long, but they're pretty while they do bloom. And as you can see, bugs love them. I made pickles for the first time. Used some of my pickling cucumbers and also some of the Boothby cucumbers to see what the texture would be like.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Time to harvest my garlic. I didn't plant much garlic because I don't have that much room and I'm still prioritizing what I want to grow in my yard. So this garlic, onions, most of the other things, it's just to figure out, can I grow these things? Are they worth growing again in the future? It's a tricky one. I can get 3 cloves of garlic for $1.50 at the grocery store. Sure, the stuff I grow tastes better, but is it infinitely better than the grocery store stuff? Is it worth the investment of time? Same goes for potatoes. Just trying to figure out how to grow them. But ultimately, if I can get a giant bag of potatoes for $5-6, is it worth growing them at home? Some say yes. It is 4:30 p.m. This is what it actually looks like. But the camera likes to make it look brighter and nicer. We got a lot of rain on this date. More harvests. Roma tomatoes are coming in strong, getting 4, 5, 6 a day. A couple of peppers every day, cucumbers every day, onions. Some of the last raspberries of the season being harvested. I got a few more in the days after this, but that's about it. Some things we remember. Month is almost over. Most of my wood chips have been put down. The yard just looks better with the wood chips. We'll see how it does with weeds. I know I'll still need to pick some weeds, but hopefully less than before. We're almost in maintenance mode with the yard. Black Krim. A whole bunch of them decided to ripen at the same time. 6 tomatoes. One of them is actually 5 tomatoes. One of them is just a giant tomato that looks like multiple tomatoes. Black from Tula. Several tomatoes, but none have ripened so far. I think I'm growing a lot of dark tomatoes this year. I'll have to narrow down, pick which one I like. Pickling cucumbers. Thinking I'll grow 2 plants next year at least. I'm not getting quite enough to make regular pickles. Roma tomatoes. More harvests. I think I've harvested about a third of the tomatoes so far. Others are still ripening. Lesia peppers, they've started to ripen. I'll be using these mostly to dehydrate and make powder. It's a very nice powder. Sweet pepper taste. King of the North, these are my bell peppers for fresh eating. Waiting for them to ripen. And then you've got the ground cherries. Squirrels have not been able to get to them as much this year, so I've been able to enjoy them every once in a while. I might grow more in the future to make some GM. Raised bed is going well. I planted some more carrots, a couple more beets. Only a few this time, to see how big they can get before the end of the season. Cleaned up this bed, tied up the zucchinis and the other squash to help them grow upright, give them a bit more light. So far they're doing quite well. Another harvest coming in strong, harvested the black crims. And some more plantings to put out, some broccoli, some cabbage, got a couple of types of lettuce, some basil, and I'm going to try some marigolds, see if they have enough time to start flowering before frosts set in. Blue Christmas. Color's different than the other Blue Christmas. Well, I lied. It's not 31 days of July. It's 30 days of July plus August 1st, because I forgot to record on July 31st. 2024. So here we are on August 1st, 2024. The sunflowers are about to start blossoming. They should help the peas. Rather, they should help the beans grow. Gold nugget squash is doing pretty well. I've got 3 squash, almost full size now, and a few more on their way. Hopefully these taste good. I'll be growing them next year probably if they're good. Coleus. Some of these are beautiful. Some of them didn't do well. I think it depends where I grew them. They seem to prefer a shady spot. Lots of hascap plants. 3 hascap plants. I'll be trimming them back in the fall and probably moving 1 or 2 of them, as well as the gigantic rhubarb plant. Cleaned up the raspberry patch, removed all my second-year canes, and removed some of the new canes because it was getting quite pushy in there. Looking much cleaner now than it was before. With any luck, I'll have some raspberries to harvest in the fall, once the new canes fruit at the top, as they tend to do in their first season. But that all depends on when the frost hits. On the right there, that's what I cut down. More Lesia peppers, grown in a different area. Curious to see how everything fares in different parts of the yard. If I only get 3 peppers out of this plant, I'm pretty happy. More Paul Robesons coming up. And to the left there, those little red balls are not pink brandy wine, even though that's what I ordered. But such is life. Sometimes the tomato seeds you buy are not the tomato seeds you bought. Still a tomato. Anyways, that's it for now. August should be a pretty fruitful month. And then we're on to September and part of October before the season will end. At least outside. Thanks for watching. Au revoir.